Hello, fellow cultists. This is DMNL, and I'm back with another episode of Shadow Talk. This is episode 145. 145. And today I'm going to be going through some Weird Wizard. And actually, what I'd like to do with Weird Wizard is create a character. But before we get to that, let's do what we always do, and that is to check out some new offerings from from the Schwab Entertainment. So let's take a look here at Drive Through RPG, where all of the Schwab Entertainment goodness lies, and you can see that there are not a whole lot of new things here. But what we do have are some Black Star Studios content, and I think that's it. So we have Grimlore from Black Star Studios. We have Death and Decay, which is a creature codex, and then we have Secrets of the Grave, which of course is a undead supplement. Now, for those of us that actually supported that Kickstarter a while back, we actually received a new offering in our mailbox yesterday, and that is Blight Scars, the Grimmerling Boar. And so this is an interesting supplement. It does come from Black Star Studios, but it's basically written by Rob Schwab, so it might as well be a Schwab Entertainment product. But the interesting thing about this is it seems to be it could fit very well in the shadows of in the what does he call them? Shadows. Anyway, in the not Paths of Shadows, Legacy of Shadows. Anyway, the World of Rule, Lands in Shadow. That's it. Thank you. It would fit very well in the Lands of Shadow series because it actually focuses in on Balgrendia. And it's really just zooming in on Balgrendia and all the nasty goodness there. Now, I have not read through this as of yet, so I'm not really sure exactly what it has to offer. But yeah, it's new, and it's from Schwab Entertainment, and so I dig it by default. So that's that. And unfortunately, that's pretty much it. Not a whole lot new. I know there's a lot of stuff in the works. But nothing since my last video of the Schwab Entertainment product line. So let's go ahead and jump on to the main topic for today, and that is creating a Shadow the Weird Wizard character. So let's see here. How am I going to do this? I'm going to minimize that. I'm going to bring up a PDF of the character sheet, which is form fillable. And on my other monitor here, I have my Shadow the Weird Wizard PDF that I'm going to use to guide me through creating a character. So let's get to it, shall we? All right, so the first thing that this addresses is level. Your character has a level. So in Shadow the Demon Lord, you have the option of starting off at 0 level. For this game, you could probably do that as well. But as far as the core rulebook goes, it assumes that your characters are starting at first level. So I will plop a big fat 1 into the level box there. And we'll move on to the next portion, which is Ancestry. So, blah, 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 blah. Lots of ancestry information here for humans. Not lots, a couple paragraphs. But the human ancestry is what we get in the core book. And then all the fancy ancestries you get a snippet of in the Secrets of the Weird Wizard. And then there's going to be a Weird Ancestries supplement that's coming out shortly. So all of that for ancestries. But our character is going to be a human, so let's just go ahead and go with that. Human. And a human has the following traits. So a human is size 1. So under the size category, we will stick a 1 in there. And then this, for speed, they have a speed of 5. Now they have one human trait, which is called a cut above, which I'm going to copy and paste right in here. So a cut above, you have certain advantages that set you apart from other people. These advantages can source from special training, a knack, a destiny, or something that happened during upbringing. You can increase the scores of 2 different attributes by 1 each. See other ancestries, bottom right. Okay, so other ancestries, bottom right. What does that say? Basically, it says go to the Secrets of the Wood Wizard to see the other ancestries, and Weird Ancestries supplement that has 30 different peoples. But we're just doing humans, so we're good. All right, so that is the ancestry section. The next section is professions. All right, so how do we do professions? You choose from among 8 categories of professions, each with specialties representing narrower expressions of the larger professional category. Most specialties provide a piece of equipment, which might be a flavorful item, such as a special book, or something that's described in Chapter 3. Some might grant knowledge of an additional language. If you would learn a language that you already know, you can choose a different non-secret language instead. You can choose your profession and specialty or roll dice to gain a random result. For more information on professions, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so we have some tables and we have a professional categories table. So we're going to be rolling some random stuff here to generate our fighter. So I have to pull out my dice bag of demon goodness, demon lord goodness, and get my dice ready to rock and roll. Okay, so I need a D20 for this table. All right, so D20, here we go. And our first roll is a 5. So a 5 is a criminal. So I go to the criminal table, and that is a roll, a D20 roll as well. So roll my D20 again, and I get a 12. So for 12, I'm a forger. You earned a living by making fake copies of official documents. You have a writing kit. Okay, a writing kit. So down here in equipment, let me put writing kit. Writing. Come on, man. Writing. Okay, apparently it does not want me to put in writing kit in there. Okay, let me do it on the other side, so screw you. All right, so that is, that's my profession. So I was a forger. All righty, interesting. Okay, so next we have equipment. You begin the game with the equipment you need to undertake your first quest. The following items provide you a mix of standard items plus items you choose. If you prefer, you can forego the starting equipment presented here and instead start the game with 2 gold pieces. You can use those funds to purchase items from those presented in Chapter 3, to which you should also refer to gain information about the items presented below. All right, so by default, we get clothing. Let's see here. So you get, you have a set of normal clothes. Okay, so apparently writing in this PF is a bit wonky. Clothing. Come on. All right, well, moving on. Weapons, you have a dagger. So we'll put dagger. It's going to let me do one letter at a time. That's fantastic. Okay, so I have a dagger, I have clothes, then I have gear. So the gear includes backpack. All right, this is kind of pissing me off a little bit. So maybe it'll let me just cut and paste instead. Let me try that. So let's see here. Copy. Paste. Copy. Paste. That seems to be working. And then gear. So we get a backpack, water skin, provisions, 5 torches, and a tinderbox. And then we get bonus equipment. So choose from the following options. So there are 5 bullet points here. The first one is brigandine armor, shield, and club. The next one is leather armor, shield, and longsword. Next one is leather armor, short bow with a quiver of 20 arrows. The next one is padded armor, quarterstaff, 2 blank books, writing kit, and 3 poultices, or is it poultices? And then the last bullet is leather armor, short sword, sling with a bag of 20 bullets and lockpicks. All right, so I was planning on doing just a sword and board standard fighter. So let's go with option 2, which is, oops, leather armor, shield, and longsword. All right, so I can put in here long sword and dagger because I already know I have those. And I believe you can use your shield as a weapon in this game as well, so I will put shield in the weapons category. Also, I will put a shield under armor, and I will put leather under armor as well. Now, as far as filling in the rest of those boxes, we'll get to that here in a bit. All right, so the next thing is appearance. So we can randomly determine various aspects of my appearance. I'm not too concerned about doing that right now. That's something you can fiddle with later. But let's go ahead and get to the good stuff here. We have background, we have identity, personality, all these things you can determine randomly. So I'm just going to kind of skip all that. But then we get down to religious beliefs. So this will determine if your character is religious, and if so, what religion they follow. So the first table is piety or piety. So let me take 3 d6. Grab that later. Okay, so I have my d6 of the Demon Lord. You can see it's got a little Demon Lord. Okay, so here we go. 3d6 on the piety table. All right, so that is a 9. So what do I get with a 9? I believe in the gods and offer prayer to them all. All right, so I am not particular there. So what I'm going to do is copy this and paste that in there. Okay, and then under religions, I don't know if it makes sense to roll that. In fact, it doesn't make sense because I believe in them all. Okay, so then we have names, and it offers a bunch of different names here. I'm not going to my own imagination to come up with a name that I like. So let's see here. Let's go with Korvac. That sounds like a good sword and board fighter name. All right, so Korvac, who was a forger but has now turned to a martial way of life. So now we get to the good stuff. So novice paths. So the novice paths are basically levels 1 and 2. And so there are 4 novice paths. You got a fighter, a mage, a priest, and a rogue. We're going to go with fighter. And then the next part here is determining Ability scores. So for ability scores, and I'm on page 20 and 21 now, for a fighter, there's a table here, and I can roll randomly or I can choose. So I'm just going to roll because that's how I like to that's how I'd like to do it here. So here we go. Be good to me. That's a 5. Okay, so with a 5, I get a 13 strength. And 13 strength is a +3 modifier. My agility is 10. That's a 0 modifier. My intellect is 10, which is a 0 modifier. And my will is 10. All right, so I'm stronger than the average bear, but not too terribly, not doing too terribly well in the others. Average, one might say. Okay, so let's see here. Battle training. Got a little bug buzzing around in here. All right, battle training. Let me roll a d6 and see where I got my battle training. So I rolled a 5 again, and you are a skilled hunter. You honed your fighting ability by tracking down and slaying beasts. So let me copy that and stick that in here. Okay. And then we get to level 1 fighter. So let's see here. We start off, a level 1 fighter has a natural defense of 10. So where do I put my natural defense in here? I don't really see a place for natural defense, so I'm just going to put that over here. Okay, so I have natural defense of 10, and my health is 16. So I find my health right here. The current 16 and my normal is 16. Now this is a little bit different because normally your health in Shadow of the Demon Lord is equal to your strength, but evidently now it's based off of your path. So I got a health of 16. Nice. All right, languages. I know Common, and that is all I know. So let's put Common. And then I have my traits. So my first trait is combat training, or I guess you could call them talents. I guess I should call them talents because that's what they are, talents. All right. So, combat training, you ignore the requirements for wearing armor and using weapons. You roll to attack with 1 boon. When you get a critical success on a roll to attack, you can roll the damage and additional time and use the highest total. Okay, pretty nice. Let's see here. And then combat recovery is my next trait or talent. And I'm going to paste that there. Oh, there it is. Okay. Let me make some corrections here to get more space on my sheet. All right. Combat training. You ignore the requirements for wearing armor and using weapons. You roll to attack with 1 boon. When you get a critical success on a roll to attack, you can roll the damage die. Okay, I just is that the same? No. Dang it. That's combat training again. All right, let's try this again. So I have combat recovery in there. That's the second one. You can use an action or a reaction when you are harmed to heal half your damage total and impose 1 bane on rolls to attack until the start of your next turn. You can use this talent twice. At level 5, you can use it twice. You can use this talent once. At level 5, you can use it twice. You regain the uses of this talent after you rest. Okay, so that's combat recovery, and then combat training was the first thing I put in there. And don't know why it did what it did, but let me put it back and fix the formatting here. All right. So those are my two talents. My path is fighter. Okay. And so that is pretty much it as far as the class goes. Okay, so let's see what all of these things do. So under customizing scores, and this is on page 20, it says you can create your own set of scores by starting with the following. And then you can increase one score by one, reduce a different score by one. You can make this adjustment when you finish. Okay, so that's if you're doing your own customizing scores. I picked from the table, so we keep it at that. All right, so what is natural defense? Your path determines your natural defense score. See Chapter 2 for details on defense and Chapter 3 for armor and shields that raise or replace your natural defense. All right, so your health, your path determines your health. Which is your ability to withstand injury. In addition, as your level increases, your path tells you the amount by which you increase your normal and current health scores. Languages, and we have bonus damage. Okay, so you can use bonus damage to deal extra damage with your attacks. As you gain levels, the amount of damage increases. See Chapter 2. Okay, so I didn't see bonus damage here in level 1 fighter, but I do see it under level 2. So I believe it is 0 at this point. But then when we get to second level, it'll be a plus 1d6. Okay, so what else do we have to do here? I don't think that's pretty much it. Traditions. Some paths let you discover traditions. All right, well, fighters don't. So we'll talk about traditions in another video. Okay, so I think we have all we need for the fighter from the novice path. So now we go to, let's see here, past the rogue. Okay, and we have, here's all the gods of the major gods of the Borderlands. Since I worship all of them, I don't really need to pick one, so, or venerate all of them, I should say. Okay, and then we get to game rules. So we actually want to skip the game rules. So let me go back to the table of contents, and we want to get to Chapter 2. Chapter the second. There's Chapter 4. There's Chapter 3. And Chapter 2. Where are you? Here's Chapter 1. Yeah. Okay, this is silly. So let me go to Chapter 3 and back up. Okay, well, Chapter 2 apparently are the rules. Okay, so let's go to equipment. All right, so we have a bunch of equipment on here, but we really don't know what any of it does. So let's take a closer look here. All right, so this chapter starts on page 54, and we talk about commerce. So commerce uses the copper, the silver, and the gold piece. 10 coppers equal 1 silver, 10 silvers equal 1 gold. Okay, so nothing fancy here. It looks like no electrum or platinum or anything like that. Of course, you still have gemstones, jewelry, artwork, base metals, livestock, trade goods, things like that have value. Okay, so item quality, item availability, crafting, carrying limits. All right, let's talk about that. So you can carry or wear a number of items equal to your strength score. You hold such items in your hands or by strapping them to your body. You can exceed this limit up to twice your strength score, but for every 2 items beyond your limit, your agility score is reduced by 1 until you're no longer overloaded. A few exceptions to this rule follow. Containers. A container and everything it holds counts as one item. So I got a backpack, right? I have a backpack. Where'd my backpack go? Here it is. I do have a backpack in which I carry my gear. So all of that counts as one. So it says right here, example, you could stuff your backpack with torches, coil of rope, a tinderbox, and provisions, and the backpack could still count as a single item. However, some heavy containers might count as 2 or more items, especially when filled. So I can carry 13 items total. And what I have is 1, 2, 3, 4. Leather armor is 5, shield is 6, longsword is 7. So I have 7 items. And so I could carry 6 more items if I need to. All right, so armor. I have leather armor. So leather is light armor. The most common form of light armor has soft, flexible leather. The most common form of light armor has soft, flexible leather clothing reinforced with plates of inflexible, hardened leather designed to protect vitals. We do want those vitals protected, am I right? All right, so dork. So anyway, that's what we have. We have leather armor. So we go over to the leather armor table, and we see that what leather armor provides us is a defense of 12 or a +1. So my defense score by default is a 10 because it's natural defense. So I could accept the defense value of 12 or add +1 to my natural defense. So since my natural defense is 10, +1 would be 11. The default value of leather armor of 12 is better, so we'll go with that. So for defense here, I'm putting 12. And for leather down here, I put 12. And then we have a shield. So a shield offers +2 to defense, so that will bring me up to 14. All right. So then we go on to weapons. Now I already have a longsword, dagger, and shield. So let's take a look at the weapons and what all these categories are. So the categories are melee or ranged, grip, requirements, damage, weapon traits, and so on and so forth. So let's see what we get with the items with the weapons that we already have. So I have a longsword, or just a sword, and so a sword does 2d6 damage. So first of all, though, it asks to hit. So to hit is based off of your strength. So I'm going to go with +3 to hit. Boons and banes, I have combat training, which means I roll to attack with 1 boon. So let's put 1 boon for each of these. And then damage. So what did I say? 2d6? Okay. And then hands. So where was I? Oh, here it is. Actually, the longsword's a little bit different than just a standard sword, but it's still the same damage. But you need a strength 12 to use a longsword. Luckily, I have a strength 13, so I'm good. All right, so then traits. The weapon traits are slashing, slow, and versatile. Okay. I got a very persistent bug that flew in from outside when I let the dogs out. That's annoying me. All right, so under properties for longsword, I will put slashing, slow, and versatile. So let's see what those are. So slashing, when you attack with this weapon and get a critical success, the target takes an extra 1d6 damage. So that's nice. Then we have slow. You can attack with this weapon just once per round. However, I have combat training, which means you ignore the requirements for wearing armor and using weapons. Actually, the requirement is a strength 12, so I ignore that. But looks like the slow property is still a thing for me. So that's a bummer. It doesn't matter at first level because you're not going to get more than one attack anyway. But yeah, so as you get higher in levels, you can get additional attacks. So that's why I'm a little bit concerned about that. But by that point, we should get other weapons. So not worrying about it at first level. Okay, so is that it? Hands. Weapons on the table appear by their grip. Ah, I see. Okay, so longsword is a one hand. So we will put one-handed right there. All right, next is a dagger. So a dagger doesn't have any requirements. It does 1d6 damage. So a dagger would be +3 if using it in melee, but if I throw it, it would be +0 because my agility sucks ass. All right, but it does a 1d6 damage. So let's put that in here, 1d6. And then hands is offhand. And then properties for dagger is light, nimble, and thrown 5. So let's see, light means when you would add bonus damage to an attack made using this weapon, you add 1 fewer die. The minimum is +1d6. Nimble. So nimble, when you attack with this weapon, you can use agility in place of strength for the roll. Okay? And then thrown. Thrown 5 or 10. You can make a ranged attack with this weapon by throwing it. You use strength for the roll. Oh, okay, use strength for the roll. So just put +3 in there. You use strength for the roll. Unless the weapon has the nimble also has the nimble trait. Okay, so I was right the first time. +0. Okay, so since daggers have the nimble trait, it uses agility. Well, you know what? It says for nimble, you can use agility in place of strength. So I'm thinking, it says you use strength unless you have nimble, but nimble just gives you the option to use agility. So I'm sticking with strength because that's my jam. Okay, you choose your target from among those within the listed number of yards. If the attack results in a success, the weapon either sticks in the target's body or falls to its feet. If the attack results in a failure, the weapon lands a d6 yards behind the target. Okay, so I can throw it 5 yards. Fantastic. Now shield. Let's see here. Is a shield listed as a weapon? Going down the table, going down the table, going down the table. I do not see a shield listed there. I know shield's over here. It only provides defensive value on that table. So I'm not seeing a shield on this table, which tells me that you cannot use your shield as a weapon. Nope. So I'm taking it off the weapon track. Okay. So my only weapons are long sword and dagger. Okay, so what else do I have? I got my armor. I got my weapons. I've got my traits. I've got my talents. I still have to give myself a background and description and professions. Well, I already have profession. Did I write it down? I didn't think I wrote it. I don't think I wrote it down. So my profession was a forger. Forger. Folgers. Coffee. No, it's a forger. So I'm going to have to cut and paste or copy and paste it. But at any rate, I think we're done. I think that pretty much is everything. Copy and paste. There we go. I think that's everything we need to run a first level character. Let me just make sure. So page 2 is a bunch of traditions. Allies, acquaintances, and don't need any of that. So we have our equipment here. Expert and master paths. Those are not needed at the moment. So I think that's it. So let's see what else we have here on the character sheet. We got injured and incapacitated boxes. So you click on those if you ever you find yourself in those situations. Spells, if you were to take a path that allows you to choose traditions. But otherwise, I think we're good to go. So there you go. My first Shadow the Weird Wizard character rolled up and ready for me to rock and roll. Now let me see if I can save this guy. Excuse the hiccups. All right, yeah, looks like I can save it, so I'm going to save it to my Weird Wizard folder. Give myself a new characters folder. And come on, save it. And there I have my first Shadow the Weird Wizard character. All right, that was fairly simple and painless, other than my character sheet not wanting to allow me to type in it. So only comment I have on here is the font for the armor and shield and weapons. Pretty small, so hopefully you got some good eyesight, unless you're filling this out by hand. But you know, small font is better than my handwriting because my handwriting sucks. But yeah, there we go. That is your first level fighter. So that's it. That's all I wanted to do with this video. So I think we're good to go. Thank you all for watching. As usual, if you like my videos, subscribe. Click the like button as well. And, you know, help me to get more exposure on YouTube. Because, you know, nothing I like more than exposing myself on the internet. And we want to be sure that other people find my videos if they are looking to get information on Shadow the Weird Wizard, because there's not a lot out there. Definitely not a lot out there about Shadow the Demon Lord either, which is why I started this channel to begin with. So, yeah, like and subscribe and all that jazz that other YouTubers talk about. With that, I will let you go. So if I have a mind to, my next video may be another character building in which I do a wizard, because those are my favorite. Actually, I think they're called magicians in this game, at this level, at novice tier anyway. So anyway, I will let you all go. So thanks for watching, and hail the Demon Lord. Now, how do I turn this damn thing off?